Hey Spurs fans, welcome back to another update on our San Antonio Spurs. Before we jump into today's breaking news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And here's something special for you. Everyone who subscribes and leaves a comment with their name and the city they're watching for will automatically be entered into our giveaway to win an official San Antonio Spurs jersey. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment your name and city below. Stay tuned, because the next Spurs fan wearing the jersey could be you. The night felt like a spotlight test. Two rising titans stepping into a stage that demanded more than points. In San Antonio, the air tightened as Anthony Edwards and Victor Wembanyama turned a regular season game into a referendum on ambition, pressure, and the question that animates every era: who carries the league's banner next? Anthony Edwards didn't hide from the gravity. After pouring in a career-best 55, he admitted the spark that lights his fuse against San Antonio is singular. The presence of Wembanyama changes the temperature. When the opponent is framed as the future, complacency becomes impossible. The challenge becomes personal. That candor reframed the duel. Edwards wasn't just chasing a number. He was chasing a standard. Wembanyama, cast as the heir apparent, stood across from him and answered in kind, stacking 39 with a second-half surge that felt like a rebuttal in real time. Each bucket became a conversation, each possession a test of nerve. The fourth quarter turned into a private arena inside a crowded building. Edwards rose into contested threes, shoulders squared, eyes locked. Wembanyama answered with length and rhythm, stepping into deep shots and mid-range counters that silenced runs before they became avalanches. It wasn't just scoring, it was control, the ability to bend pace and mood. Edwards' post-game voice carried both edge and clarity. He wanted the floor cleared, the noise stripped away, the duel distilled to its essence. One-on-one, no screens, no help, just pride and skill. That desire speaks to a competitor who measures himself against the best by seeking isolation, not comfort. Asked who wins that hypothetical, Edwards didn't hesitate. Confidence is his currency, and he spent it without blinking. The answer wasn't a slight. It was a declaration of self-belief, the kind that fuels late-game shot-making and invites scrutiny when the stakes rise. He wants the smoke because he believes he can breathe in it. Then came the pivot, pressure, and identity. Edwards acknowledged the weight that comes with being anointed, and he rejected the burden of external expectation. He prefers authenticity over narrative, performance over branding. It's a philosophy that explains his fire. Play free, compete hard, let the results speak. Wembanyama's role in this story is different, but no less compelling. As a top pick crowned by hype, he carries a mantle that invites both admiration and skepticism. Nights like this, responding to a star's barrage with poise and production, turn projection into proof. The label face of a league is earned in moments when the game tilts and you refuse to fold. The numbers matter because of when they arrived. Edwards' 26 in the final frame felt like a takeover. Wembanyama's second-half counters felt like resistance. That interplay is the seed of a rivalry. Two players who can elevate a game by forcing each other to reach higher, faster, sharper. Beyond the box score, the psychology is the story. Edwards thrives on challenge, using perceived crowns as fuel. Wembanyama absorbs pressure, turning expectation into execution. Their styles clash in ways that make for theater. Explosive guard audacity versus towering versatility. Speed versus span. Swagger versus serenity. San Antonio's role in this drama is more than backdrop. The Spurs' environment, history, discipline, and a fan base hungry for a new chapter creates a stage where performances echo. Minnesota's edge, defensive bite, pace, and Edwards' relentless shot-making ensures the script never settles. Together, they produce nights that feel bigger than standings. The face of the league conversation is not a coronation, it's a gauntlet. It demands consistency, charisma, and the ability to turn pressure into presence. Edwards' insistence on being himself and Wembanyama's refusal to shrink under expectation are two paths toward the same summit. The climb is crowded, the view is reserved. What lingers after the horn is curiosity. How does Edwards' fire evolve when defenses tilt harder? How does Wembanyama's poise sharpen when the calendar flips to spring? What happens when the floor does clear, figuratively or literally, and the duel becomes the night's only truth? For now, the takeaway is simple and thrilling. The league's future is not a single face, but a set of contenders willing to test each other in public. Edwards wants the challenge. Wembanyama welcomes it. Fans win when pride meets performance, and the scoreboard becomes a canvas for ambition. The next meeting will carry more weight because of this one. The quotes will hang over warm-ups. The crowd will lean in earlier. The first shot will feel like a statement, and the last will feel like a verdict. That's how rivalries begin, one night that refuses to end when the buzzer sounds. Before we go on, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Your support keeps our Spurs coverage strong and brings you the latest updates straight from San Antonio. And jump into the comments. Tell us what you think about today's news. The video begins with a hushed silence, the kind that makes viewers lean forward, waiting for the revelation. The camera zooms in on Harrison Barnes, his expression stern, his words deliberate. Then comes the shocking declaration, "I will not play alongside Victor Wembanyama anymore." Gasps ripple through the press room, and the NBA community finds itself at the center of a storm that could redefine the future of the San Antonio Spurs. The announcement has sent shockwaves across the league. Barnes, a seasoned veteran known for his professionalism and steady leadership, rarely makes statements without purpose. His refusal to continue alongside Wembanyama raises questions about chemistry, discipline, and a fragile balance within a roster striving to return to contention. For Spurs fans, the moment feels surreal. San Antonio has been riding high on the promise of rebuilding around Wembanyama's generational talent, but Barnes' words pierce through the optimism like a thunderclap. The declaration is not just about one player. It is about the culture of the team, the relationships that bind it, and the cracks that may now be visible to the world. The video clip of Barnes' statement is already circulating across social media, replayed endlessly with captions, memes, and heated debates. Fans dissect his tone, his body language, and the timing of his announcement. Was this a spontaneous outburst or a carefully planned message? The ambiguity fuels the intrigue, keeping audiences glued to every update. Inside the Spurs locker room, the atmosphere is reportedly tense. Teammates are caught between loyalty to Barnes and the need to preserve unity around Wembanyama. The uncertainty only heightens the drama. For a team that thrives on cohesion, this fracture could prove costly, and the ripple effects may extend far beyond the current season. Analysts are quick to frame the situation as a pivotal moment in San Antonio's journey. The Spurs have long prided themselves on resilience and tradition, but Barnes' declaration challenges that narrative. If unresolved, the tension could derail their aspirations, forcing the front office to make difficult decisions about roster construction. The timing of Barnes' statement adds to the gravity. San Antonio is in the midst of preparing for another season, and distractions of this magnitude threaten to undermine focus. Coaches are scrambling to address the situation, balancing the need to support Barnes with the imperative of keeping the team united around its young star. Fans are divided in their reactions. Some applaud Barnes for speaking his truth, arguing that honesty is essential for long-term success. Others criticize the public nature of his statement, fearing that airing grievances so openly could damage the team's reputation and morale. The debate reflects the complexity of modern sports culture, where transparency and loyalty often collide. National media outlets have seized upon the story, framing it as one of the most dramatic developments of the offseason. Headlines scream of conflict within the Spurs, and talk shows dedicate entire segments to analyzing the fallout. The narrative is irresistible, a veteran challenging the status quo in a franchise desperate to reclaim its glory. Internationally, the news has sparked intrigue among basketball fans who follow the NBA from afar. Barnes' boldness resonates globally, with fans debating whether his stance reflects a generational clash between established veterans and rising stars. His words are being translated, shared, and discussed in markets far beyond San Antonio, underscoring the global reach of the NBA. Economically, the ripple effects are already visible. Merchandise sales tied to WEMBANYAMA remain strong, but Barnes' declaration has created uncertainty. Ticket demand for Spurs games has spiked, driven by curiosity about how the team will respond. Broadcasters are capitalizing on the drama, promoting San Antonio's matchups as must-watch events filled with intrigue. Within the Spurs front office, the urgency is palpable. Executives are reportedly holding emergency meetings to evaluate options, from mediating the conflict to considering roster changes. Every decision will be scrutinized as the franchise seeks to reassure fans and maintain momentum in the face of adversity. The broader NBA community is buzzing with speculation about how San Antonio will handle the situation. Will the team prioritize Barnes' concerns, or will they attempt to preserve the existing roster at all costs? The uncertainty adds another layer of intrigue, ensuring that the story remains a headline for weeks to come. For the Spurs players, the challenge is clear: adapt quickly and maintain focus. Leadership within the locker room will be tested as veterans guide the team through this period of turmoil, ensuring that morale remains high and performance does not falter. The burden of keeping the team united now rests heavily on their shoulders. The cultural impact of Barnes' declaration is significant. In San Antonio, he had become a symbol of steady professionalism, and his words now carry the weight of disillusionment. Fans are grappling with the emotional complexity of supporting a team that may be fractured from within. The city's sports identity feels momentarily shaken, and the community is rallying around the Spurs in hopes of finding stability. Media coverage continues to intensify, with round-the-clock analysis dissecting every angle of the story. From locker room dynamics to contract implications, no aspect is left unexplored. The narrative evolves rapidly, and readers remain eager for the next revelation. As the dust settles, one truth becomes clear: Barnes' declaration is more than a personal grievance. It is a turning point. The Spurs must now navigate the delicate balance of honoring his perspective while forging a path forward that preserves their ambitions. The video that began with shock and disbelief has now transformed into a rallying cry. Fans, players, and analysts alike are united in anticipation, waiting to see how the San Antonio Spurs will respond to this seismic shift. The story is far from over, and every development promises to keep audiences on edge. In the end, Harrison Barnes' refusal is not just about one player. It is about the unpredictable nature of sports, the fragility of success, and a relentless drama that makes the NBA one of the most captivating leagues in the world. The Spurs' next move will define not only their season, but their legacy, and the world is watching with bated breath. The declaration has ignited a firestorm of speculation, and the Spurs' faithful believe this is the dawn of a new chapter. The journey ahead will be filled with challenges, triumphs, and unforgettable moments. But one thing is certain: San Antonio has made a statement, and the NBA will never be the same. The reverberations of Harrison Barnes' startling declaration that he no longer wishes to play alongside Victor Wembanyama have continued to ripple across the NBA, sparking heated debates and speculation about the future of the San Antonio Spurs. Local media in Texas described the atmosphere as tense yet electrifying, noting that fans are both stunned and curious about the implications of Barnes' ultimatum. The city is buzzing with conversations, and the fan base is divided between those who support Barnes' bold stance and those who fear the fallout could destabilize the team. National sports networks have seized upon the story, framing it as one of the most dramatic developments of the season. Analysts argue that Barnes' refusal to coexist with Wembanyama is not just about personal conflict. It is about setting a precedent in a league where player empowerment has become increasingly influential. His boldness has been praised by some as a necessary act of honesty, while others criticize the public nature of his statement, warning that it could fracture locker room chemistry. On social media, the conversation remains relentless. Fans are posting clips of Barnes' press conference, dissecting his tone and body language, and speculating endlessly about the reasons behind his decision. Memes mocking the situation and heated debates about whether Barnes' approach is justified flood timelines, ensuring that the story remains at the forefront of NBA discourse. Former players and coaches have weighed in, many applauding Barnes for his uncompromising stance. They highlight the importance of maintaining authenticity in the locker room, noting that a player's credibility is built on honesty and conviction. Others caution that such public declarations can backfire, potentially alienating teammates and creating divisions that linger throughout the season. Internationally, the news has resonated as well. Fans across Europe, Asia, and Latin America are following the saga closely, seeing it as a fascinating example of the high-stakes drama that defines the NBA. Barnes' words are being translated and debated in markets far beyond San Antonio, underscoring the global reach of the league and the universal appeal of its controversies. Economically, the impact has been immediate. Merchandise sales tied to WEMBANYAMA remain strong, but Barnes' declaration has created uncertainty. Ticket demand for Spurs games has spiked, driven by curiosity about how the team will respond. Broadcasters are capitalizing on the drama, promoting San Antonio's matchups as must-watch events filled with intrigue. Within the Spurs locker room, the mood is reportedly unsettled. Teammates are grappling with the shock of Barnes' statement, trying to balance loyalty to their veteran teammate with solidarity for their young star. The uncertainty has created an atmosphere of tension, but also an opportunity for leaders within the team to step up and guide their peers through the storm. The broader NBA community is buzzing with speculation about how San Antonio will handle the situation. Will the team prioritize Barnes' concerns, or will they attempt to preserve the existing roster at all costs? The uncertainty adds another layer of intrigue, ensuring that the story remains a headline for weeks to come. Rival franchises are already recalibrating their expectations, knowing that the Spurs have added a layer of internal drama that could affect their competitiveness. For the Spurs coaching staff, the challenge is clear: maintain authority while preventing the controversy from derailing the season. Barnes' declaration has set a tone, but the staff must now navigate the delicate balance of enforcing discipline without losing the trust of the players. The anticipation of how this will unfold keeps fans and analysts on edge, eager to witness the next chapter of the saga. Ultimately, the repercussions of Barnes' statement extend beyond a single season. It has become a narrative about leadership, resilience, and the power of bold decision-making in professional sports. As fans, analysts, and players continue to react, one truth remains clear. Harrison Barnes' words have not only shaken the San Antonio Spurs, but have also reshaped the NBA conversation in ways that will be felt for years to come. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of every exclusive San Antonio Spurs news drop, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And don't forget, your opinion matters to Spurs Nation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.